Welcome back to another episode of A Record of My Father. And here we are today with my father. We're going to be talking about animals, right? Is that what you were mentioning earlier? Is that what you wanted to
Yeah,
make this one about?
yeah. I was thinking it's like after the first of the year, you start looking at the things that have been important in your life, and we look back. And I mean, I got two dogs right now that I never thought I'd have that are important, and I had cats in the past that were important to you. That you
Oh,
know,
just to me, not to you.
just to you, not
Just
to
to me.
us.
No, just to me.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
my gosh, the cat lived 22 years, and the other one lived 19.
I've never even seen or met a cat that has lived that long since
Yeah,
then.
yeah. They were in the what we would call it the Ritz Carlton.
The cat Carlton?
Yeah, I think we spent more on the cats than we did on your education.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Times
remember
six.
towards the end of was it Cassandra? I think it was both. They were having renal failure, and they were like, "Oh, we can come in 5 times a week and get the what was it, the liquid shots or something?"
They
I think
want
it
to
was
give them
like
water, then they want to do radioactive isotopes to other stuff like that. It was just there's the
five
there's the
times a
wonderful
week
time.
though.
There's
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a wonderful time when you think about the animals in the beginning when they're little
Yeah,
puppy kitties, and they can
yeah,
barely
yeah, for
climb up
sure.
the steps, and they're
Mm.
beautiful and they're neat, and the dogs in particular love you every time you come home. The cats don't give a shit. But but
Then they never
Fromage would always
will.
Fromage would always climb into your lap.
Me?
Mine, not
Or yeah,
yours.
yeah,
You were a
she
stinky
didn't care about
kid.
anybody.
Yeah, you were
She
frightening.
didn't care about anybody except you.
No, Cassandra would follow me around the yard like a dog.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she was a black cat, about 12 pounds, solid black, a little white under the neck, I think. Yeah,
really?
yeah, I think so. And
There's
then for
white.
Yeah, a little white under the neck,
I
and then
didn't
from
even think she had a tie. I didn't think she
Fromage
had
was
that tie.
just gray, the whole gray, just a
Yeah, all
really
gray.
cool looking gray.
Gray soft
Yeah,
sweater
just
cat,
so yeah, sweater cat, kind of cat
sweater
that
cat.
you make a sweater out of, but that's probably not what we should say, right?
We were gonna make shoes and we never did. No, it was kind of
Yeah,
upsetting.
we talked about that. We're gonna stuff this and make a hat out of this cat, and your mother would just go like, stop it, that's horrible, you're horrible," you know.
I'm upset that we never did. I think
Yeah,
that would
I'm not. We have
it
them
would
in
have
a
been.
box on a shelf.
I know. Well,
We
imagine
have
if you could wear
Fromage.
them eternally forever in a hat, and
Yeah.
I could pass the hat on to my children and then my children's children.
Well,
See, I
you know
would have
how
had
from
kids if we could have made the hat. Now we have no family heirloom. Nothing matters anymore.
I remember that how Fromage got her name.
Now I was
Did I tell you that story? I was like,
no.
uh, I just said, she said, "What do you want to call the cat?" And I said, "Fur Pie." And she didn't think anything of it and went to work. And she told the people at work that we have two new cats, Cassandra and Fur Pie. And all of her coworkers, the females they're all paralegals, they got into the conference room and they called me, right? And they were like, "What is this? We hear you've named the cat, blah, 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 blah. What did you name the cat? This is horrible." And I was like, looking, I'd just gotten back from Montreal and I had a book on my desk given to me in Montreal. And it was like Cheeses of Montreal. And I look at it and I go like, Fromage. And they just stopped. They're just like, "What? Fromage?" And everybody just said it was so weird. It was just like, Fromage?
That's a good cat name. That is a good cat name.
It was just like, it was the most random thing I did. And it was like, it stuck because it was like, wow, that's unusual. That's kind of a neat name. And it was just like, it worked. It really worked. Cause she was Fromage. She was sort of cheesed,
She was. She was. Well,
you
she was
know?
large until she died.
Yeah.
Until the last couple of years there. But how
Yeah.
did you get them? How did you saved them, right, from a barn of some
Yeah, well, I
sort?
guess you would say that her mom came up and she had barn kitties that got pregnant, and she had like four of them, and she came up and she gave two to her to my wife's brother, and he took two, and then one of them he called Lucky because she said if the cats stay here, she raised Rottweilers, they're going to be dead in a week.
Mhm.
So she comes over to our house, and we were where the heck was it, over on Pomeroy Drive then, and over Burke. People would know
Yeah.
who that was.
Yeah, I know
Anyway,
who that is.
she comes over. She has the two in a little cage, and they're cute little. Just, I mean, they're this freaking big. They're tiny little things, and they're little tiny wild cats. And it's just kind of a neat thing. And
Yeah.
I didn't want cats, and we both worked full time. I mean, a lot. And I worked a lot then, a lot.
Well,
I mean,
cats don't matter if you work full time, you
yeah,
know.
well, I mean, to a point, but still, it's the whole idea that now you got one more thing you got to take care of. And I've already
Yeah,
taken care of a lot of
exactly.
stuff. And she
Mhm.
goes, well, if you don't want them, they'll be dead in a week anyway. And I was just like, it was something. I don't
The
think it was
truth.
exactly those words, but it was something.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's something to that effect. And we're like, and I look at my wife and I'm in. I'm in. I don't want to be killing the cats, man. I don't want to be the one held
To be weighing
responsible.
on your conscience for the rest of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was great. And then we got
Well,
them, and that was in like 93, you know, and they didn't die until 2017 or 16. I mean,
yeah,
it
it
was
was
like,
17. It was
yeah, it
around
was like,
17 or 16,
whoa,
which,
you know,
oh, yeah, that was
they
the longest
lasted.
living
I
cat.
mean, they were like, Cassandra was 19, and then she'd gone down to like 7 pounds, and that's when we had to
But
go
yeah,
in. And I remember that that was so sad when I told her mother, I said, we're not going to put water in these cats multiple times a week. We're going to
that's
go in
crazy.
this
Yeah, you've got
Saturday.
to.
And she didn't believe me. And I
Oh,
said, we're going to do
wow.
this. And you and I went in there and we put Cassandra down. And I remember we called her on the phone crying. And she's like, you, you, you did it. And I said, well, we said we were. But,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, okay, maybe I should have said, really, I'm going to do it,
Really, really, I swear.
really, really. I swear. Well, I made the appointment and everything, and I was going to go in. And I knew that I had my partner, my business partner, said that he had a cat that had the same kind of thing. And he said the first couple of weeks you had to chase the cat around because the cat knew that it was going to go, and they're going to stick a needle in it and then put 6 or 8 ounces of water in it because that's the problem. It wasn't
Mm,
it wasn't retaining fluid.
yeah.
And so it would have this bulge of water running around its body for 3 or 4 days, and
Ah,
it just hated it. And then it became, and it was his cat, and he loved the cat, and the cat hated him. The cat was
wow.
scared to death every time I went over to find him. He was like running away. No, you're gonna stick a needle in me, ah! And I was like,
Oh my
I do not
God.
want my cat's last days to be like that.
They already knew as well. I remember when we would take them to the vet even before that, and they would run around the house and they would know where they were going. And
Yeah,
that was already something that
I
that
think there's something
existed.
about animals' instinct that says that we're gonna go stick something in you and do
Well, you
things
put
to
me
you.
in a cage, I think you're gonna stick something in me, right?
Yeah, we usually didn't. We stopped
Uh,
using the cage on you once you got to be about 7 or 8 years old.
I thought I was around
Didn't we?
15. I don't know.
No, no, we only used a leash
No,
then.
oh, just a my
Leash and handcuff.
mistake.
Leashed and handcuffs. That's not a cage. A cage is totally different,
No, that's
right?
inhumane. Cage is inhumane if you think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, leash and handcuffs on your kid to get him to go to the doctor and get a shot. You're
Yeah.
gonna get a shot. Wow.
What was I thinking about earlier? The turkey. When you
Oh, you
were
brought
a
up the
kid.
turkey because it
Yeah.
was so funny. We went down. We used to always go down and visit my, I guess, for lack of a better word, aunt. She was someone that my mother took in as a child. Their family took in. Her family was killed, and she lived with them. And
Oh,
then she got married to somebody, but she didn't really get married. They was just cohabitating. They lived together, and we would go down there and visit them. And they lived on a farm in mouth of Wilson, Virginia, which is in the middle of nowhere, dry
yeah.
county too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it was we had to go across the line to buy moonshine. Anyway,
Is it
that's
still
another
Dry
story.
County today? Do you know?
I think it is, and you still have to go to the trailer across. I
From where
know where it
my
is. I mean,
aunt lives.
and you don't buy it directly. They put it in a stump out front, and you leave the money in the stump. It was just like the most comical thing. But that's not what the story I was going to tell. Anyway, and that's reasonably close to truth. Anyway, the turkey. The guy says, "Well, why don't you take a turkey with you?" And it's like, "Oh, okay, we'll take a turkey." And my mom's like, "Well, let's get a pet turkey." And I'm just like, "Can we have a turkey?" We grab a turkey. Yeah, it's a little. We have a little wooden cage,
Yeah.
probably as big as a medium size or large size dog cage, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We put him in the back of the we station wagon was all the cars we ever had, patted in the far back, and go go go. We loved the turkey, and it was really kind of weird to get connected to a turkey. And it
Yeah.
was like it was and the thing is any animal that you're close to, unless it's totally wild, is this was a turkey that wandered around in their yard and ate food all day and didn't run away because it had food all day. and nothing was bothering it, nothing was killing it. So it was there. It came with us, came to our house. We had it there for. It got out of the cage.
Oh,
We would walk it, which is kind of funny. You get a rope on the turkey's leg because you don't want to put it on its neck because you might hurt it. But we put it on his leg and then walk around the yard. You'd walk the turkey, and it was just so weird. And one time it got away, and it got away at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and it was just getting dark. And it flew on the neighbor's roof. And I run over to the neighbor with my brother and 3 or 4 other people, and we have a ladder, and I knock on his door. And I say, "Hey, do you mind if we get our turkey off your roof?" And he just looks at me like you're looking at me right now, like, "Oh no, this is some kind of redneck joke, isn't it?
they're
This
gonna
is a
rob
redneck
me.
joke."
Oh my god. Yeah.
And he has a funny look, and he says, "Sure, I don't mind. You can get your turkey off my roof." And then he was waiting for the punchline, and then we plop the ladder up, and he looks and he goes like, "You guys are gonna climb on my roof?" It's like, "Well, that's how we're gonna get the turkey." And he steps out and he sees the turkey walking around on his roof. I swear, he just started laughing. He just started laughing. He was just like, "Oh my god, you really have a turkey?" When we were in the Acres, which is a community with houses that are on quarter-acre lots, one right after the other. So having a turkey was sort of, well, I mean, to say mildly, kind of stupid, but you know, but we had a turkey. We put it in the cage. And we left it outside, just like we would a rabbit or anything else.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, next day, somebody chopped the head off.
Oh,
We
because
found
it's
we
so
we
it's so
found
loud, right? I would have thought they were loud.
well, gobble 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 at it, and I would have thought it would have been a fox or something, but a fox would have torn the thing apart. But it had a
Yeah.
very clean cut, and I think a neighbor was pissed off, or some local kid was, "Ooh, let's blah 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 and see what happens when you cut a turkey's head off." I don't know. I have no
Oh
idea. It was a horrible story. We saw it. Hearts were broken. We
gosh.
buried the turkey in the
Yeah.
backyard.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what do you do with a dog, or
I
what you
don't
used to do with
remember
dogs.
if I mean, I think we might have named him Tom, but I'm not sure. I'm not quite. I don't remember the name of the
That's a good
turkey.
name. Well, how
Yeah, I
long
think
was it? How long did you have it in total? That's my
we
question.
probably only had it like 2 weeks, maybe week to 2 weeks tops.
Only 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was very
Oh,
quick, and everybody kind of knew we had a turkey, and they thought it was very weird and a very. I mean, it wasn't
Woodbridgean
urban.
way.
We weren't urban, but we were. What do you call it when you got a bunch of house? Residential. We were in a residential
Suburban.
area, suburban, much more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of strange,
Yeah.
maybe race people had rabbits, and that was sort of okay.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
even that smelled
Chickens.
horrible. But
Chickens are bad.
yeah, well, the thing is, we had a big woods area behind us, and that would draw. There were animals that lived there that ate these
Mm,
things, and we didn't really analyze what it was, but it was just a clean cut, chopped set off, whatever it did.
gosh. You think it wasn't the guy? You think
I
like Storm?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think it was him. No, he was a really.
No.
They were really nice people. They they
No.
they were a little uber religious, but
Yeah.
they were very nice people. So
Oh, that's sad about the turkey.
yeah, it was very Tom took a timely termination.
But now you have these two dogs. Do you see an animal after these two dogs that you have, or are you kind of
I
done?
did not see these.
I didn't
I
see these
will
either.
see when did she get yub?
2017, 2016,
Is that when
2016,
you went off
probably.
to school?
Year before. Year before.
Year
Two
before.
years, 2 years before. 2 years
I
before.
I thought you were getting old, and then you were her job forever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was just like, okay. And she said, "I want to get a dog," and I was just like, "Why would you want to get a dog?" She
Yeah.
was. I mean, I loved animals, and I would have had dogs and cats and frogs and sheep and whatever the hell we had, and
Turtles.
turtles. I mean, we got 4 acres.
Do you ever think about getting like a small goat or something?
I talked
It's
about
too
that too.
cold. It's too
Well, you'd
cold
have to
for
get a
goats.
couple. They'd have to build a new. Well, your skate park's gone. I guess I could start a
Yeah.
goat herd. I got my stick.
That would be kind of
You
cool.
see
I've
that
always
now?
wanted to do that for at least a year, become a herder of sorts.
Well, I have a what do you call it? What are the Zulu warriors? The from Kenya or Tanzania, they have these goat sticks that they
Yeah, yeah,
use
yeah.
to fend off the lions. And I bought one when I was there when we climbed Kilimanjaro, and it's like it weighs like a steel bar. And we now have found out that we have coyotes, I think they're called. They're coyotes and wolf combined.
It's like a Kai Wolf or something.
Coyote
Yeah.
wolf, that's right. I don't know how to pronounce anything. We have coyotes and we have fox. And just 10 minutes ago, Yub Yub chased a fox off, you know.
Oh, she did too?
Yeah. And I was just like, she just bolted and ran after the red tail and ran, and the fox ran under the fence and ran away. And I was just like, you guys are going to get eaten. They're going to get
Yeah,
eaten.
they really are. Because Yoshi did that the other day.
Yeah,
When I was
he
there,
didn't know what to
when I
do.
was
He
back
was
there.
running left to right, going, "I'm an idiot." Roar, 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 roar. He just does that. He runs and she barks, and he just runs in circles and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, one
Doesn't
time
know
it's
what
gonna
his
be
what
not
his main
so
process is.
good.
Well, the thing is that we started this with the idea that animals. I mean, you can do research studies and look at them and see that they make you live longer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They make you
yeah. No,
happier.
definitely.
The whole idea that when you touch an animal that you feel better, you feel more comfort. When you hear a cat purring, you're just like that just is such a great feeling inside.
Well, you
Just
walk more
it
too. You
warms
walk a
you.
lot more
Yeah, well
than
now I walk more with them. I didn't walk with
yeah.
cats. It was kind of
No, no, not with cats, but with
I,
dogs in general, yeah.
yeah. And they were kind of quasi indoor cats too. They were not outdoor cats.
I rarely saw them outside.
Yeah,
I
I mean
never
they
really did. I
yeah.
never, except when they killed that bird that one time. It
Well,
jumped like 3 feet in the air.
oh, the
Crazy.
one they did one when we were at Pomeroy was Cassandra because it was a cat bird and it kept swooping down. It swooped down to her head once,
Catbird. What is a
twice.
catbird?
It's I don't know. It's got a little white on the wings and it's got a
Oh,
little
that's an actual thing. Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
it is. Yeah, it
I
is.
thought
But
you were just
anyway, it
saying
was
something.
flying back and forth and it was going down and dive bombing her because she was sitting out on the porch and she was looking at it and she was counting and it came down and she snatched it out of midair. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God. And she runs right into the house. I run into the house. She runs to the back down the hallway and underneath the bed. And you hear the chirping and the birds and all that. And they're underneath the bed. The birds shitting everywhere. The cat's,
Uh,
you know. And I throw the cat out up on the bed and then she jumps down the other side. I see the bird. I fly him up. He flies into the bathroom. I shut the bathroom door. She's at the door, beating on the door. I'm in there and I'm trying to figure out how to open this little slidey window because we had a little slot bathroom that I could get the screen off. I ripped the screen open and then the bird flew out and everything was fine.
oh, okay.
That was
I'm
kind of
surprised it lived.
yeah. Well, I
That's
mean,
funny.
he might have been traumatized and died of a exploded heart later. I don't
That wouldn't
know, but
surprise me. Oh
but
my
it was
God.
like he was carried in the bird's mouth for a little bit. And I mean, cats are not like you know when you see a dog, a big dog or a bear or a tiger or one of those guys, they grab the thing and they shake it till it's dead,
Oh yeah, yeah.
snap
Any
its neck.
sort of
A
dog
cat
thing.
a cat just wants to torture it. they will they will get a mouse and bring it in and throw it in a little square area and pop it and hit it and torture it and
I don't know what
ultimately
that is either.
yeah they're just it's just
They're just
they're
mean.
yeah
They're bored. They're bored animals.
well they're getting excitement out of watching a little thing try to run away and then they just keep bringing it back until it can't run anymore and it dies. Nice.
Nice.
But that
Uh,
that's not the focus.
yeah.
The focus is not on what cats do that are evil. It's sort of like,
Remember
you
when I
know,
had that goldfish
yeah.
for 12 years
Oh
that I
my
won at the
gosh.
carnival? You
What was
remember
his
that?
name?
Superfish. I never properly named him
Yeah.
until I was like 16, but I had that goldfish for 12 years
Yeah.
that
Bought
I
it home in a
won.
bag.
And they come in a garbage can because
Yeah.
they're in a garbage can in a bag with like what 70 other of the goldfish. I don't know
And
how that's
you had two goldfish, didn't you?
I had like five. Yeah. They
Okay.
all
And
have like a weird disease and they all died except for one.
I thought he kept eating them.
Yeah, I think he kept killing them too. I think
Yeah.
he
Well, we
had the
kept,
disease that they were getting, and he would
yeah.
just beat the hell out of them when I went to sleep, I guess,
Yeah.
because he would run his face into them and try to kill them.
And we kept trying to put more fish in there and he kept like,
He
they
just killed
just
everything in
disappear.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a beta fish or whatever.
He was
What are the ones that kill each other?
predator, I guess, whatever
I
you
don't
call it.
know.
Apex
But
predator.
no, the two fish that fight each other. There's two fish that.
Fighting fish of Siam.
No, I think it's the beta fish. The beta fish also kill each other.
What about the
Because if
alpha?
you put two of them in there, but even then, like you put an alpha and a beta or two beta and one alpha, they'll just fight the way
What about a
off.
crypto?
Yeah, they're really funny. They're really funny. But yeah, no, I had that fish for 12 years.
Really?
I'm never gonna forget that.
Oh my
That
God.
was crazy.
I
I was
always
so proud of myself.
I remember Big Jumbo. That was another one.
He also killed everything
He
that
was
we.
another. I mean, you just had nothing but murderous pets.
No, they were the worst.
They everything you ever got was just like they were armed with weapons when they came in our house.
I remember hearing screaming at night. And I was like, what is that noise? And it was hermit crabs screaming. And I
Yeah,
was like,
because he was killing them.
he was murdering them while I was 7 years old and asleep.
That's why I'm so a little bit
That
of the
was horrendous.
silence of the lambs, right?
I guess my training really did them well.
Yeah, yeah, but he lasted for until we gave him away.
Yeah, and then he lived for another like 8 years. But I think mom got an email from the people that we gave that hermit crab to, and she was like, "Was he killing the other hermit crabs that you had?" Because he's killing our hermit crabs, and it
Yeah,
was funny.
yeah, he was a murderer.
We never went back over there and looked at him
Mm-mm.
because I think I had a favorite hermit crab that wasn't him. And when Big Jumbo killed my favorite hermit crab, I was like, "You
Yeah,
fucker!" I was like, "Oh
yeah.
my
And you
God."
didn't name the other one. You named Big Jumbo because it was
Yeah.
a monster hermit crab. You
Why
know,
did we name
Big
him Big
Jumbo.
Jumbo?
There's so much. We have so much interest in internet. Well, I mean, think about Yub Yub. I mean, Yub Yub for a dog. When I say that
Yeah.
name, people look at me like they just want to laugh because it's the old guy walking the two little dogs, and it's like
Big
I used to laugh
Jumbo.
at people like that and go like, "Wow,
Uh,
I'll never be an old man walking little dogs. That's so wussy." Ah, ha, ha, ha. And
and
now
look
I'm
what
that guy
happened.
walking the two little dogs. So I always tell people, "Don't do that. Don't laugh because that will be you." Anyway, the Yub Yub name is like no one. You either know it or you don't.
I don't know how anybody knew that because it was so strange. Because when I Googled it, I just wanted to know, not a Mogwai name. What was it? An Ewok name.
Ewok.
And I was like, this is the most
It's the war
close thing
dance.
that it looks like. What?
It's the war dance.
Yeah, it's the song, which I didn't realize.
Yep.
I thought it was the name
Yep.
of one.
Well, you know when I told Jose that,
Yeah. He
I
knew
said,
what it
"Yeah."
was.
I said, "We got a new dog and it's named Yub Yub." And he goes, "Yub, Yub." And he starts doing the dance. And I was just like, no. And I would see this over and over and over. And it's like people would look at me like, okay. Or they would go, Star Wars. And I was just like, what? You, I mean, it was just like,
I'm surprised anybody
it
knew
was
that
like
because I
two
never even
minutes,
knew that.
maybe a minute and a half of the whole movie series ever. And
Yeah.
everybody,
If that.
they were, well, Star Wars was like one of those addicting things that people like to
That
look at
was.
and
People
watch
did
over
love
and over
that.
and over. Yeah. They're kind
People
of
did
crazy.
like Star Wars. Remember the hamster that I had? You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he used to bite the shit out of me. I don't know, right
yeah.
on the end of the fingertip, right there.
Another
So
murderer.
another dangerous one.
You should have put another one in there because then he would have killed that.
Yeah, I don't know why hamsters don't love each other. You think that they would the way they look, but they don't like each other.
I think every pet you ever had wanted to kill something. I
Every
mean,
every single
the only reason
every
it
single
might have
one.
been, maybe you have a psychotic past or aura that you put
It might
out.
have been me. For a while, I thought that it was something that had to do with me, but it might have been the room. There might have been a
Yeah.
ghost.
Well, that was the room. The room that you grew up in is the room
That was
that
a haunted ass room.
I saw ghosts in there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they might have been going into the fish, and I don't
maybe
know.
so. They were
I don't
freaked
know.
out. Kill the ghost. It's
Yeah, I remember the food one. We bought one from the fish grocery store, and
yeah,
we the sucker one that was gonna eat all the stuff on the bottom, and
yeah.
they just burned it. Yeah, they just killed that guy too. They killed him the fastest.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was pretty much, well, he wasn't their I guess species, or he wasn't their
yeah, I realized goldfish are violent. Yeah,
oh
and
gosh, yeah.
why are they so violent? I mean, you grow up in a bag your whole life. I guess you're gonna be.
Well, I mean, are they related to the carp,
I don't know.
which are bottom
Maybe.
feeders and dead thing eaters and all that stuff like that? And
Well, they are bottom feed. They're like one of the grossest fish you can own. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's for
So
sure.
yeah. But they also, it's like it's cheap, so you don't think much of it. You get it at a carnival and you're like, oh, I go out and I spend all the money and I figured it was going to be dead in a week.
And it
I
was
thought
alive for 12 years.
years, and
And
it
the
was
other
just
two
like,
were alive for at least 5 years, which was even
yeah,
like also surprising.
yeah,
But you know what's funny is I still have a dream where I have three goldfish that I haven't fed in a while, and I still
yeah.
need to go back. Like I still have a dream, like, and I'll wake up and I'm like, fuck, I need to go feed the goldfish. I'm like, wait, that was what 10
Isn't
years
that weird?
ago. It's weird. It's bizarre.
I
It's truly
I
bizarre.
still I still have a dream that I didn't graduate from college, and
Oh yeah.
I'm going to I have an exam tomorrow, and I'm going to
Mm.
flunk it.
I've
That
never
I
had
mean,
that one.
that's mine. Is just like, oh my god, I didn't study, and I don't know what the topic is, and no one gave me a syllabus. And I start running this through my mind in the middle of the night in the dream, and I'm going like, how am I going to study for a test if I don't know what it's on and I don't know what the topic is? How am I going to do that? I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to graduate. I'm not going to graduate. I'm not going to graduate. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm 65, 64.
Oh my God.
I'm
Oh,
probably
what
not
a
going to
little
graduate. you know,
Mine are always fish based, and there's one where I remember having giant fish that were
yeah,
too almost too big for the tank, and there was water that was spilling out onto the floor. And I was like,
yeah,
why? I was like, why did I put these big fish in these small tanks? I was just like
yeah,
looking at them like, why would I have done this? This was silly. They grew really, really fast. Like they grew faster than I ever would have thought. And yeah, or either that or I haven't fed them and they're mad at me and they're trying to talk to me or something. It's bizarre.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have the crocodile story with Edwin.
Which
Oh man,
well he raised him for a long time.
yeah, and he got bit.
Yeah.
The story where he goes into the pen and he said, it was my fault. He's raising crocodiles. Crocodiles like 130 pounds. And it doesn't sound like that big, but
Oh, it's big.
it can jump 6 to 7 feet, just at a launch. And he goes in there to feed it. And the way he fed them, he opens up the door. He has a 5 gallon plastic bucket, you know, and the thing would lunge for him to eat him. And he would stick it in its mouth and push it away. And then he would take whole chicken parts in there and then throw it to the crocodile and it'd eat him. And he went in there and he goes, I missed. and it
Uh,
grabbed him by the hand and it took him to the ground. He said, it knocked me off my feet. It took me to the ground and it started to roll me into the water.
oh,
And I'm like, holy crap, And he said, but I knew that when a gator bites you, their teeth are the reverse. So the worst thing you can do is pull away.
yeah.
Never pull. You have to shove your fist right down their throat, and then they open their mouth. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that
But
in mind
most
the next
people,
time I'm fighting
but
one.
the opposite of what people do is they pull and you literally rip it. And he's telling me the story, and this is just like, and he said, yeah, and I come out, and he said, I get loose and I get out of there and I shot it, and I realized that I better make a feeding door, and I've been saying I need to make a feeding door forever, and I
I
never
thought
made a
he
feeding
had
door.
one. I thought he had one. He chose
He
not to
had one
use it.
afterward, but he didn't have
Uh,
one then. So he goes out and he goes, I'm sitting there, and I said, so how many stitches you get? And he goes, oh, I got like 140, 160, something like that. And I said, so what did it do? And it said, well, it's my left arm, and it's a couple slashes all the way down, and then there's 80 stitches here and 40 stitches here, and then my hand was opened up, and so they had to sew back each muscle in each one of my fingers so I could use my fingers again. There was 5 stitches for each one of those. I said, your muscles were hanging out? He said, yeah, it was. He said
I
it was
remember the
definitely,
photo. The photo was crazy. Maybe that should be the thumbnail for this.
it was horror. He said he said, I showed it to his kid, and his kid couldn't drive. His kid just freaked
Almost
out.
fainted,
Just
right? Yeah.
And he didn't want to call the ambulance because he didn't have a license to have a crocodile, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember
Yeah.
you showed me the photo and I almost vomited. It was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it was bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
The good old day. Yeah. We need to put that on there for lovely puffy animals. I was
That'll be
thinking
the thumbnail for this video that'll get us banned from Spotify.
oh, that'd be great.
Oh
And
my God,
think about all the different animal things. That was one. What
that's a
other
big
ones?
one.
Well, we used to go snake hunting on the Potomac. That was always interesting. We had one chase us down
The
the
snake chase you, the
yeah,
slide
we had
off.
water snakes, and we were out on the Potomac, and we'd go hunting
Hmm.
in the rocks and catch them. I don't know why we would catch them. It's kind of silly. We also had we had bought a caiman at the local GC Murphy's. They sold them for like $1.99,
What?
and we didn't tell my mother, and we put it in our closet. and we had it in a big tub that was maybe 2 feet, big round wash tub.
That was like a
We had
baby
it,
one.
yeah, and we had it
Oh,
in there, fed it in there, kept it in there, and then she finds it and she freaked. She was kind of upset when she opened the door because you couldn't shut it all the way, but it was kind of cracked, and she went in there to, and she comes into her room vacuuming or something, opens up the door and just a loud scream, and
oh my god.
next thing, get that out of my house, get it out of my house. We get it out of the house, we put it outside, and then the next thing you know, he climbed out of it and he went down the hill and went in the creek. And then a week later, there's a news story in the Potomac News that kid finds gator in creek.
Oh wow. You could have made an invasive species, but they would have died out though. He would have died pretty
Yeah,
quickly if it
But it
was a
was just sort of
winner.
like, wow, somebody found this there, and he made the Potomac News at the time, which was kind of an
That's pretty nice.
interesting little thing. And we thought it was ours. I don't know. It could have been somebody else's, but
Yeah. Well, that's why
I'm
he
taking
went on.
credit. That's
Yeah.
what we do. We take credit for everything.
That's why he went on to raise them. I think that's why
But
he
any other,
pursued it.
sure, we had a dog, Shirley, that was named after Shirley Highway.
I remember
My,
you telling me about that a
yeah, my
long
mother
ago.
was driving home one time, and the traffic's wall to wall traffic. She's coming south, and this dog just bolts past her, and it is a mother, maybe a 10, 11 months old that just had 6 or 8 pups, and it runs past her, and then she's driving and she's looking and looking, and she opens up the door and it just jumps right in, and she has, of course, a half-eaten
Oh,
cheeseburger in the front thing, and he eats that, and the dog's, and that's it. That was our dog.
oh, that's
We
nice.
did that over and over and over. That's usually how we got animals. So we'd
Off the
get barn
highway.
kitties and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, Yub Yub was the first one we actually bought.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd never bought an animal in my life, and that was like, oh, let's go get a purebred Havanese, and then we got another one's Havanese, I think, but he might be a
I don't
little,
know about that. He's some weird thing.
yeah, he's a long-legged Havanese, but they're both like
Oh.
they are together like this.
Yeah, they
They
are.
fit.
They
Yeah, I
do.
mean, wow, they are good.
But I think that's gonna wrap up the episode here. I
Yeah,
think that we're gonna start to wrap
we
up.
love animals.
We do.
Animals make us happy. They make me happy. That I get joy out of them all the time. Just
You
the
do.
whole
You're a changed
idea.
person.
Yeah, I mean,
You're a big changed person, yeah.
yeah. So you need to get a pet animal.
No, I
I think
don't.
you need a baby dinosaur.
I was thinking I'd get a small monkey, I think.
No,
Because I've been seeing these things where there's like they have monkey in the house
you might as well
and
get a friggin' skunk.
and it goes
Okay.
on the trapeze and stuff, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
and then it
I
grows up
love.
and rips your face off.
No, only ones that are like this tall. I only want one that's like this tall.
He
I
will
don't want
find
a
your
big one.
he'll find your gun or your knife and he'll stab you.
That would
And
not surprise me.
he will smoke cigarettes in
Well, I'm gonna teach him how to smoke cigarettes. That's the whole
right.
point of the monkey. So when I quit smoking, at least I can watch somebody smoke, you
Yeah,
know?
you see that on the other. What is it? Where do you see that? That's
Of
so
The
funny.
Simpsons is what you're talking about.
I love that.
The smoking monkey.
Wow. Wow.
All right. Well, we have a Q&A section in our Spotify now. So if you guys have any questions, we always have answers. So we're gonna wrap up.
None of them are right though.
It's the was it the 5th episode here already on season
We're
4?
rocking,
Isn't
man.
that crazy? We're going to town and
Yep.
and we're doing it, but we'll see you next time.
Yeah,
And
we should be featured on Joe Rogan really soon.
really soon. Maybe 2 episodes from now. I think we can do it. I think it's
Yeah.
manageable. But I think our stardom is going to
It's
really
skyrocket.
take off. It's
Well, you're
really
the
gonna take
executive
off.
producer, sir. We need to have
Yeah.
credits run afterward.
I was thinking an intro,
Yeah.
some
We
thematic
could do that.
song intro that we would.
Well, if anybody
pay
has
somebody
suggestion for an intro, I could think of many, but they'd turn people off. But hey.
I could think of many as well. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful day here.
GFY.
It is 1/3/2024. Wonderful day out there, everybody.